What's up, it's you for today's video where we full Genesect drives Pokemon team. This is a really interesting team concept. So we got 5 Genesects. The first one with no drive, second with the shock, third with the burn, fourth with the chill, and 5th with the Douse drive. A very cool concept right here. If you want to follow me on Twitch, make sure you do this right. I do all my live streams, so theme teams, Pokemon sweeps, shiny hunting, and if you want to come and battle the big boy, that's where you do it. The link is in the description of the video, twitch.tv/PIMPNITE. So today I've got 3 battles. I'm actually really enjoying putting 3 battles out. Hope you guys have been enjoying that one as well. Also, I've got a new outro as well. I mentioned it in my last video, but just for anyone that hasn't seen it, please give me some feedback on that if you'd like. I thought I'd put actually 2 videos at the end, so maybe one you could have missed and like a sort of viewer interest video. So I hope you like that, and yeah, give me some feedback on that if you want to. So we got a Buffant lead here, and we got a very bulky Pokemon to face it. So I've got my Genesect. This one is going to my burn drive one. As you can see, the drive in the back is red, so that's the little clue what sort of drive it's got. A lot of people do miss it though. So this is a special attacking set. I really had to run special on nearly all of them because Techno Blast is obviously a special type move. Now in this case, I went for Steel Beam instead. That does so much damage there. Unfortunately, Buffant withstands that attack and takes me out with a wild charge. I was going to go for a Techno Blast, but Steel Beam was stabbed, and I knew that would do all right. And Buffant's actually going to go down to the wild charge damage. So a double KO. That was a lot of damage there. So my next Pokemon, funnily enough, is Genesect. Now this one is going to be the electric drive, the shock drive. Sorry, I get those drives all mixed up all the time. And the Pokemon coming out here is Porygon 2. Now the funny thing here is Porygon 2 is going to have Trace, and it's going to Trace Download. Oh man, I bet they're laughing about that one. Anyway, so Porygon 2's got Download. It's going to be hitting me a little bit harder, right? So this set is Techno Blast, Explosion, Giga Drain, Iron Head. It's Max Attack and Max Special Attack. Sort of like a mixed one there. So go for Techno Blast. So Techno Blast is the move that's based off the drive your Genesect is actually holding. So in this case, it's an electric type move. Now, Porygon 2 is going to go for a Tri-Attack here. Even though it's not very effective, that boost from Download actually helped it out a lot. With some extra damage. So I've got Explosion here. I could go for that. I was like, nah, I'm going to go for another Techno Blast and see whether Porygon 2 is going to attack me or just start spamming Recover Right. So go for another one there. Almost take it out. And now Porygon 2 is going to go for yet another Tri-Attack. I think they're trying to like hacks me as well, trying to get like a little freeze hacks or something like that. Now, this is the stage where I can go for a Giga Drain here, get a little bit of health back, and, you know, take the Porygon 2 out. Porygon 2 is a very bulky Pokemon, so, you know, I was very happy to get around that right. Now, that's 2 Pokemon down, and I get a little bit of health back from Giga Drain, which was really nice. Now, this team, you may think it's probably an easy team to run. It actually wasn't, because if you come across one Fire-type Pokemon who's fast, you're in a world of pain, right? So the next Pokemon I just jump into this battle, what are we in Australia or something, is Kangaskhan, right? Now I've got Techno Blast. Like, I want to use Techno Blast as much as I possibly can on this team, right? Because this team is all about using the, you know, the drives, right? So that does all right damage. Kangaskhan is very bulky. I think this is an Assault Vest instead, and it goes for Power Up Punch, right? Power Up Punch doesn't take me out. So I'm definitely thinking they're running a very bulky Kangaskhan there, using Power Up Punch to boost their attack. So I thought, let's see if they are, you know, going to take an Explosion very nicely. I feel like they're very bulky on the special side, but not so much on the physical side. So go for the Explosion there on the Kangaskhan, and Kangaskhan is going to go down to another double KO there against this, you know, against this person. So that's Kangaskhan and my second Genesect down. Now, my next Pokemon is Genesect again. And this Genesect is the Chill Drive one. The Chill Drive and the Douse one. The Chill one sort of is a little bit lighter than the Douse one. So this is an Ice-type move, right? Now, in comes Regigigas. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, Regigigas got a very good upgrade in this gen. It actually learns Protect now. So, as you can imagine, you can stall that slow start. And I already know what was going to happen here, like, you know, 50 turns ago. So, I'm going to go for, obviously, I went for my Techno Blast here. Regigigas is going to go for Protect, right? So it stalled one of the 5 turns it needs to stall at for slow start to activate, right? So I hit the Protect, gonna do nothing. So, okay, I cannot let this thing get to slow start. Like, I can't let it get 5 turns, right? If I let it get 5 turns, I could be in a lot of trouble. So go for that Techno Blast there. Does a lot of damage to Regigigas. Regigigas is gonna pull up a Substitute here. So it's like, oh man, this is bad, because what it can do, right, is it can go for a Substitute, and then it can go for a Protect, right? It can actually stall me out, and by the time I get to it, it'll be 5 turns over. So it's like, man, what can I do here? Like, my only option here is to actually go for a Dynamax and just go for like a Dynamax Max Flutterby. try and get some damage, or I need to break this sub. Like, this sub is very, very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like once this 5 turns it up, Rayquaza is very, very powerful, right? It's obviously slow start's a really horrible ability on it, but, you know, with Protect, essentially it only needs 2 turns of actually getting hit by moves. It can use Protect 3 times if you think about it, right? So Genesect is going to be my Dynamax one. This wasn't the one I normally Dynamax. I normally Dynamax, you know, another one of my Genesect, as you'll find out in the battle, right? Now, we got the Rayquaza there. It's going to go for the obvious Protect. I already knew it would do that. They're trying desperately to try and get rid of this slow start right on the Rayquaza. So Rayquaza is going to go for the sub and the Protect combo. I'm going to go for the max Flutterby here. I was like, I don't think this is going to break Rayquaza's sub. No way, right? The next one will, though, and it'll be on a little bit of low health there. I luckily get a critical hit there, and the Protect is going to, like, the Substitute is going to fade, and I broke it. I was like, man, that was very, very good luck there. So I say the next hit would have broken their Substitute, and they could have, possibly, been in a pretty powerful position there. But that was really, really good. The main thing is Dynamax right there, right? If you see that happen, you cannot let Rayquaza get that Substitute up. Like, definitely don't do that, because with Sub and Protect, right, it's got basically Sub and Protect in 2 moves, like normal and a dark type move. That's usually, like, even just a basic set like that is very, very dangerous, right? So they're going to opt to Dynamax their Rayquaza. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. I wonder if I can take this out, right? It's very, very bulky, but I have done a lot of damage to it. You know, Genesect special attack isn't bad either. It's pretty dang good. So Rayquaza's going to get a little bit of health there. Doesn't get back to half health, but it's still got a bit, like a decent chunk. It goes to the double max guard there to try and stall out the slow start, and that is not going to work. And a Butterfly is going to take Rayquaza out. So that's their 4th Pokemon down, and they burned up their Dynamax there too, which is very good. A risky play there. Very, very risky play, but they almost had to do it there to try and get around it. So the next Pokemon is Double here. I don't mind Double Shine, that's pretty cool. And what I've got, right, I've got 1 more turn left in my Dynamax, so I can go for any move against this. I've got Max Strike. I can also, another thing too, when you use Technoblast in Dynamax, right, it'll say, like, it'll sort of look like you won't be able to use say if it's an ice move, right? It won't actually appear as you're using it. Like, it won't come up as an ice move and say super effective, right? Say if it goes there, it'll say, you know, it doesn't affect it, right? So you can still use the move in Dynamax. It just doesn't come up on, like, the overlay there. So you can still use that. I know it's a little bit confusing. I wish they sort of, like, kind of fix that to make that. Maybe that's another good, thing for the next gen, right? But you can still use the drive moves in Dynamax, and they still have the effect, obviously in the battle. So I'm out of Dynamax now. I almost take out the Double. Double does a very good job there of actually tanking that, and I can go for, once again, any move there. It has paralyzed me, so it will outspeed me. It's going to be going for a Body Press. I'd say that's going to be like, the defense boosting set there, with the Cotton Guard. And I went for another Technoblast, and Double is going to go down, which is really good. Crit didn't obviously matter there. So they've got 1 more remaining Pokemon, and I've got 2 more left. Now, this was a Pokemon that I was actually kind of scared of as well, and it was Ditto. So that means Ditto now can come in and transform into my Chill Drive Genesect, right? Now, the only thing is, right, Genesect's moves aren't really good against Genesect. Like, when you look at my team, right, a lot of the moves are really not good against it. Look at this, like, not very effective on all of them. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the moves are bad. It's like, okay, well, Ditto's definitely not going to be going down a 1 hit there. I'm definitely going to get outspared there. No questions asked. Let's see how much damage it's actually going to do to me. So Ditto is going to go for a Technoblast there. And as you can see, that's just like the normal one without the drive in the back. So obviously Ditto is only holding like, Ditto's obviously not holding a drive, right? So it didn't fire off the Ice type move. So that's sort of the difference there. I mean, if Ditto, obviously, this is very situational. If Ditto did come in holding the drive, it would actually be able to do that, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it makes sense. So anyway, we got another Technoblast from the Genesect there, or Genesect Ditto, and that's going to take my Genesect out. That's the animation of the Genesect that doesn't have any drive in it, right? I mean, it copied the aesthetic, but it didn't actually have the drive as an item. So I had to bring this one. This is a shiny Genesect. It was an event a little bit of a while ago, and it was actually a physical set, right? So getting a download there, which is going to help so much. I've got Extreme Speed, Technoblast, Fell Sting, and Shift Gear. I'm like, what am I going to do? I definitely can't take this thing out. So I was like, okay, I can go for Shift Gear, boost my speed, and maybe attack it after that. So another Techno Blast. It's a clear 2-hit KO against me, especially after the hail. And I'm going to go for a shift gear here. So grinding the opponent's gears a little bit and making sure I outspeed them a little bit at the next turn, right? So I can go for my own Techno Blast, or I could go for, you know, Extreme Speed or Fell Singer. Either way, I really wasn't going to be doing much damage to the opponent, so I decided in the end just go for Techno Blast, right? And what we got here is the Shock Drive one. Sorry, that is the Shock Drive one, and Ditto is going to be going down there. Actually, no, that's not the Shock Drive one. That is the normal one. My apologies. So we're both going for the normal one. This was the normal Genesect with no drive. I got a little bit confused there because it was yellow because it was the shiny one. Man, I just played myself there. Okay, so the next Pokemon, our last Pokemon, is the Genesect there, and this has got the Douse Drive, which is the Water type Techno Blast. Man, these drives are driving me crazy. So we got Techno Blast, Zap Cannon, Flash Cannon, and Gravity. So I was like, okay, not playing any games here. I'm going to go for my own Techno Blast here and take out the Ditto. So they're going to go for the normal Techno Blast. Does a little bit under half health. I think they got minimum damage. I'm going to go for the Techno Blast here. It is neutral damage, and Ditto is going to be going down. And that, my friends, is the first battle. And guess what, people? We even got a baby bottle on the very first battle. But your boy PIMPNITE got that one in a live recording. You can't escape me, people. You can't escape me. You know that. All right, the next battle we have is against Rayquaza. I'm not really sure if I said that one right, but that sounds like a Oh, I bought it from the shop yesterday. A quiche, you know, one of those pie things. Anyway, so the first Pokemon was Chandelure. I seen this in the team preview. I'm like, oh no, this is really, really bad. I'm about to be swept by Ember right now. So we got Techno Blast as my main move. I was like, let's go for that, and let's see how much damage I can possibly get against this thing. So straight up, like, Desperation Dynamax at the start with a Chandelure. Like, they knew that my whole team was 4 times weak to fire, so of course they're going to Dynamax Chandelure. Now, the only good thing that's actually going to come out of this, if it did have a Choice Scarf, well, I'm going to be able to outspeed it now, right? Because it's in Dynamax, so that's good. The bad thing is I need to be able to take this out like stat, otherwise I'm going to be getting wrecked. So Techno Blast is around half health there, and here comes the Max Flare. I was like, oh no, because the only move I can really, like, ultimately looking at my team, right, if I come across a Fire-type Pokemon, they Dynamax, right, they'll put the sun up, you know what I'm saying, right? But the problem is, if that sun is up, my Douse Drive is going to do less damage. So I was like, I don't know if this is actually going to take it out right. So swapping in, get a download boost, I get an attack boost, which is going to help out so much. I could go for Techno Blast. It's super effective, but isn't going to take it out. So I could go for the Dynamax. Also, see how I do that, right? See how I Dynamax and then it goes no effect? That is wrong, right? It'll actually be a water type move. So I decided not to, and it took it out with a critical hit. They gotta be salty after that. That was hilarious. I'm glad I didn't burn up my Dynamax there too, but I was pretty lucky. I believe that definitely would have taken, you know, just judging on the damage I did before, and I think it would have just slipped. I could, like, definitely could have brought in my next Genesect and taken out, but, you know, that was pretty nice. So in comes the Togekiss now. I was like, well, Togekiss can run Fire-type moves, especially for Steel-type, so this could be risky too. Let's see what it's got. So going for the Zap Cannon there. Zap Cannon is going to miss, and they've got Air Slash. I'm like, okay, cool. They don't have Flamethrower. That's really nice. And Air Slash does around, you know, less than half melt. So I'm like, okay, this could be fun. Let's go for Gravity, right? I can pop a Gravity on the field, make Togekiss actually fall out of the sky, and then I can go for a Zap Cannon, right? And Zap Cannon's going to get an increased amount of, actually. Now, instead of attacking me, they went for a Yawn. I'm like, okay, maybe they've got a setup move like Nasty Plot or something, or maybe, you know, something along those lines. They can't Dynamax and Max Guard, of course, so I'm thinking they're going to go for a setup move. So, like, nope, not going to allow that to happen. Let's fire a Zap Cannon off at the Togekiss. Togekiss manages to tank it, and I get the, obviously, when you land like a Zap Cannon, right, it's 100% paralyzed. So, we got the Paralyze there on the Togekiss, which is very, very good. So, nice. Obviously, I'm asleep this turn, so there's nothing I can really do. Now, I'm not too scared of a Paralyzed Togekiss, so even if it does take me out, I'm like, you know, so be it. That's how it is, right? So, go for a Techno Blast here. I'm going to be asleep, right? I'll be able to outspeed the Togekiss, like, easy. Now, Togekiss goes for the Air Slash here. I've got one more chance, and then I'm going to be going down. I was actually very lucky that Togekiss wasn't running a Fire-type move, because it actually had that Drat earlier on. Now, I wake up here and get another Techno Blast out with the Douse Drive, and Togekiss is going to get doused, and that is 2 Pokemon down. So things have really actually turned around in this battle from the start. Like, the start was very, very scary. Now, the next Pokemon we have here is the Dragon Ball. So, like, okay, Well, Techno Blast is going to do nothing. Let's go for Zap Cannon and see if I can get a Paralyze against this thing. I'm not going to be able to outspeed it anyway. It's a very, very fast Pokemon. So now it's going to be a physical set. I think a physical set. It could be mixed. I don't really know. But inevitably, they are going to go for a Phantom Force, right? So Zap Cannon is going to hit the trainer. That should have got Paralyzed. And Gravity is going to turn into Normal. So that sort of sucks there. But I'm not going to be able to outspeed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. At this stage, I was happy to let Genesect take the hit. It's done a very, very good job there against the other Pokemon. So good job, Genesect. You doused the opponent's team. Now, the next Genesect to come in here is this is the Chill Drive. I got to get these drives right. The Chill Drive is sort of lighter, right? Now, I've got the Chill Drive, I've got Techno Blast. That's super effective, right? If this lands against Dragon Ball, it's going to get dropped, right? Now, they're going to go for a Phantom Force again. That tells me they're running a physical one, because if they're running a special one, right, they would have probably had Fire Blast, right? And, my life would have been in, my Genesect's life would have been in a lot of trouble, right? So I've got to take the Phantom Force here, and I've got to hope this thing doesn't have, like, a scummy sash or something like that. So I take that at about half health. I'm not sure if I can live another one. And here we go. Here's the Chill Drive move. Looks really, really cool. And Lizard is going to go down, which is pretty interesting. Actually, there's something really cool. I always found it really cool about lizards, right? When you see them walking, right, I was a little kid, actually, I picked the lizard up, and it loses like a little escape mechanism, right? Its tail comes off, and that's how, like, it sort of leaves its tail wiggling there so it can escape. It's actually a really cool little survival method. And then, the bird would go for the tail instead of the lizard, and the lizard grows back its tail. Pretty cool way. Anyway, so a little bit of trivia, animal trivia there, or insect trivia. And why I did that right, Toxtricity got absolutely owned. So the last Pokemon here is the Tyranitar, and Tyranitar's got the Sandstream, so it's going to be very, very bulky, right? So I was like, okay, let's go for Techno Blast here and see how much it will do. I tried to use Techno Blast as much as humanly possible, right? Because that's what the team was all based around. So Tyranitar's going to go for the crunch there. Genesect's actually got not bad defense, so it's going to be able to live that one. Go for another Techno Blast here on the Tyranitar. Tyranitar will take that, but it's in very low health right now. So the next crunch from the Tyranitar is going to take me out. So I've still got 2 more Genesect left. So now we're going to go into the Genesect. This is the one without the drive. I thought it's kind of cool. Like, you can sort of troll the opponent, right? I'm actually thinking of trolling here, right? If this is shiny, right, you can trick the opponent into thinking they've got a shock drive. Hang on. I think you could actually do that. I might do that in, like, another cover video. Anyway, so I'm getting a shift gear up. I'm getting some mean ideas at the moment, people. That's super mean. I think they look exactly the same. Like, I'm going to look in the next battle. Like, I've got to, like, remember to do that. Anyway, so we're going to get Rock Slider there. Once again, I've got the good defense there. Tyranitar's not really going to touch me. So I've got this Fell Singer strategy ready to rock and roll. I've got the shift gear up. I'm going to fire a little needle at Tyranitar, and it's going to go down in one shot. So, I got +1 from the shift gear, and now I'm going to get an additional +3 from taking the opponent out with the Fell Singer. So I've got +4 attack at the moment, but I had to use Techno Blast as much as humanly possible. So, okay, let's see how much Techno Blast does here, and I believe I can leave anything the Lantern throws to me in case it's got, like, hidden power, which is obviously not possible, and I can finish it off with a physical move, right? So Lantern takes that one pretty well and goes for the T-Wave. So I'm like, okay, T-Wave. I think it's probably going to be like just a stalling set, maybe Confuse Ray and T-Wave combination, right? Now, the Sandstorm is going to subside. Now, Lantern could definitely outspeed me here. I do have extreme speed on this set too. This was actually an event Genesect, which is really, really cool too. However, you can get a shiny Genesect now from Pokemon Go if you transfer it from Pokemon Go to home, which is really cool because this was a very, very, very sort of rare event then. Anyway, so the Lantern's going to get dropped by the E-Speed, and that is the second battle. I hope you people really enjoy this one. Let's get on to the third and final battle. This was a battle against... I'm not sure. Can someone in the comment section maybe translate for me? That's a pretty nice background there. They're sort of like vibing in front of the in the Isle of Armor. So the first Pokemon is the Urshifu. How did I guess this was going to be here? So here we go. We got the Ice Drive, Chill Drive Genesect. I got to remember out I got to remember out the other drive, right? So I got to swap right here, right? And I'm going to go into my Genesect, and this is the Dowsing Drive. God, these drives are driving me nuts. So we're going to see what move it's going to use for starters. So it's got superpowers. I'm like, okay, That is not going to tickle. So Super Power does a lot of damage to me. However, Urshifu's defenses have been diminished there, which is pretty nice. So I'm like, okay, let's go for the Techno Blasting and see how much damage it does. It almost takes it. It only lives on the tiniest bit of health. Goes for the Air Ace, but Air Ace is not going to do that. Is not going to take me out. They were being way too conservative there. And plus, the Super Power actually dropped their attack too. So Urshifu is down. They definitely should have gone for another superpower there. Maybe they thought they'd take it out, or maybe they thought they'd go first. So in comes a very scary Pokemon right here. This is a Groudon. So Groudon is instantly going to put the Drought on the field. So, okay, let's see if I can get as much damage with the Techno Blast as possible there. Groudon takes that pretty well, obviously due to the Drought, and now it's going to go for an option. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm very, very lucky that wasn't a speedy Groudon with like Choice Scarf or something like that, because my team would have been in a world of pain. So leftovers on the Groudon there. Sorry, I mean Shell Bell. Shell Bell Groudon, only on PIMPNITE channel. And the next Pokemon we got is the Chill Drive Genesect. So once again, with the Ice type move, I'm not going to be affected by the sun, right? So I'm not going to get my move power down like the Water Techno Blast did. So Groudon is going to get dropped like a stone, and we've taken 2 Pokemon out. So that's really, really good. I was a little bit scared that they may actually, Dynamax that. Okay, so in comes another totally legit Pokemon here. We've got the, I nearly called it Landorus for a second there. So it's going to go for a Heat Wave, and I was like, oh no, this is bad. This is actually really bad, because Drought on the field plus the Heat Wave there, I was like, Tornadus is actually going to destroy me. So swapping in my Genesect now. I didn't mention what my item was in this, but in this case, it's absolutely needed. It's the Berry, right? So I thought, okay, if I come across someone who's like super, super sweaty with Fire-type Pokemon, like in one battle, right, someone had 4 Fire Pokemon. It's like, nah, this ain't gonna fly. So now we got the Tornadus go for the Heat Wave. That does a lot of damage to me. The Berry saved my little Genesect's behind, and now, right, I can go for a Max Strike, and this is actually coming off. This is actually coming off the Extreme. No, this is coming off the Extreme Speed, not the Techno Blast. And that's gonna take out in one shot, which is very, very good. I actually didn't expect it to KO. Anyway, the next Pokemon is Zacian, and old Zachary Zacian. It's a pretty powerful Pokemon. So like, okay. Well, they could go for Behemoth Blade and take me out here. I do outspeed them with the Max Strike, which is really, really cool there. And I do a little bit of minimum damage. I'm like, okay, that's better than nothing, right? I am actually going to drop their speed, too. This is my speedy Genesect, right? Now they're going to go for a Sacred Sword, and Sacred Sword is going to take out my Dynamax Genesect. Nothing I could have done there. This Pokemon is wild. Like, it's such a strong Pokemon. Like, its abilities are so good, right? Like, it's got to be one of the best legendary Pokemon out there, right? Okay, so the next Pokemon is Genesect, and this is my Burn Drive one, right? So this Burn Drive will do a lot of damage, right? So I went for Techno Blast. I was like, okay, this has to take the Zacian out. It's already taken prior damage there, and I'll drop it like a top, right? So that's really, really good. We got 2 more Pokemon left, so it's a very, very even match at the moment, right? Now, the next Pokemon they've got here is the Dragapult. So like, okay, what can I do here? Then they decide to Dynamax, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. Like, this Pokemon, right, is very, very fast, and it hits, pretty dang hard too, and I've already used up my Dynamax too. Does it have a Fire-type move, or does it not? If it's got a Fire-type move, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble here. So we can see the big Dragapult there. What move is it going to use? It's going to use Max Phantasm. So, like, okay, let's see how much this does to me. And I managed to live it, so I'm like, okay, it's definitely probably going to be coming off a physical type move, right? So my defense is going to drop, not that it matters. I went for the Blizzard, it landed. It did really good damage there, but it just wasn't enough to take it out. And then I got Cursed Bodied on my Blizzard, so I'm like, okay, well, I won't be using Blizzard again. It didn't really matter. I was going to get outspared anyway. So that is my 4th Genesect down. All I had left was 1 more Genesect. So like, okay, let's see how much this does. Here we go. Wait a minute, let me look at that drive. Let me have a little look at that drive. I think this is a little bit more yellowy than the other one. I don't know. It could still be a good laugh, people. I've got to remember that, right? Galaxy Brain. Anyway, so they're going to go for a Water-type move there. It does, like, absolutely no damage to my Genesect at all. However, it is going to start raining, right? And I went for an Iron Head here. This is my physical set. Obviously, it was going to do no damage whatsoever. Now, Dragapult is out of the Dynamax now. That was its 3rd and final turn of using that. And it's going to go for a Phantom Force. So I was correct that it was, like, using Phantom Force. I could sort of tell by the damage calculations on Genesect, right? If it was using a special move, there's no way a normal Genesect would have won, right? Would have even even live. So Genesect is going to live on 19 health, which is very surprising, and I'm going to get a Techno Blast health here, which is my electric type move, and that is going to go down. The cool thing is, everyone, like, you guys have all got to see the different Techno Blast move too, which is really nice. So the last Pokemon here is the Rayquaza. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be realsy about this, right? No way Techno Blast will take it out. Let's go for the explosion and see what happens. I managed to outspeed the Rayquaza. I get the explosion off, like, oh, I don't know how much this is going to do. And unfortunately, Rayquaza manages to live. A very good effort there in the end. I just fell a little bit short there on their health. Thank you for the battle, whoever that was. I hope you people enjoyed all 3 battles. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.